Someone just said I've been struggling for 19 years.
There are so many stories like
and
that.
she's only 32.
Even during a blizzard, the urge to just do that and the shame of not wanting anyone to see makes you do that. The value of eating that cake was stronger for that person and being comfortable and safe inside. This is Live and Let Be
with Live and Be. Welcome back, guys. We've got a fresh week coming off the back of a really deep and vulnerable episode. And I was listening to it the other morning, and I just want to say how well you spoke and how proud I am of you. And I've already received so many messages just saying, you know, how much that has already impacted people. And I think that should be the main takeaway for you. I know it was a weight lifted for you personally, but just how many people it's going to hit and just how many people you don't realize are actually going through something like that. Like I got about 3 messages and they're like, you know, I'm going through the same and she's so strong to be speaking about it. And you just never would think looking on the outside that they are going through that.
Well, thanks for saying that, Sissy.
Yeah, I know it's always hard and confronting, like especially someone like you with such a big platform, and there's always going to come probably some stupid judgments, but
yeah, there's definitely mixed emotions, but majority of them are positive. And when other people's stories sort of come out of the woodwork, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I did this. And it sort of breaks down the stigma of what you think mental disorders and eating disorders should look like too, because people, I think, are quick to invalidate something that you're going through because to them it doesn't look like you are.
Yeah, well, I was even chatting with someone the other day and they're like, oh, was she really like going through that? Oh, and like you wouldn't even know. Exactly.
But when you want to hide, you will get strategic and you will keep it to yourself as much as you can. It's all out in the open now. Bear it all. Take my soul.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah. No, but it does, like I mentioned multiple times in the last episode, like it does feel so good to speak your truth and set yourself free and resonate with where you want to be and how you want to overcome something. And it does break my heart to hear so many other people relate and want to share their stories and connect in this way, but also just so glad that we've now started to create a place for other people to get vulnerable, because I think that is the first stage to recovery.
Yeah, well, when you even spoke about what was the key thing you had to do, it was to get vulnerable with the people you love the most. So that is the first step to opening up the floodgates, I guess. And then you can really start working back from there.
Yeah.
Crazy. And I guess it's something that we're not just put out one episode talking about it and never speak about
Drop
it again.
It and run.
Yeah. We're like, okay, that's
Tell the truth and leave.
As we can assume, there's so many questions and there's going to be ongoing questions from our listeners. So I thought we could rattle off a few.
Yep.
And go through the main things that people wanted to know. A lot of it, I think, is stuff you did cover.
I think there's definitely a lot of room to elaborate.
Yeah.
And even if I do repeat myself, you know,
it's all
can't do any harm.
Yeah. Did your binge habits reflect in your body, or was it purely mental?
Well, the result of my binge habits definitely ended up reflecting on my body for sure. I guess that comes down to also how you feel about yourself and what your beauty standard is, because to other people maybe it wasn't reflective, but for me, knowing how I feel, what I look like, how my clothes fit when I'm looking after myself and being healthy, not necessarily, I'm not talking about like healthy as in the foods that I'm eating. It's just like, you know, having a good balance and routine. I know the difference. So it took more time than I thought it would for the habits to catch up on me. But I also started when I was underweight. So, you know, the effects were starting to show. but that was just me looking normal.
Yeah.
And I've been in that place before, so it wasn't confronting. But yeah, in that year, I did definitely get to my heaviest weight. That's the easiest way to sort of say it.
Yeah. And then you even mentioned just with your skin, like you can tell with your skin texture, with all of that, the puffiness in your face.
It was actually crazy how much my features changed and how I've known my skin to feel, like even on my body, just everything changes, the whites of your eyes and your hair quality, like everything changes when you're not fueling your body in the right ways. And this isn't to say that you should avoid having sugar and carbs and this and that. It's just to say that when you're consuming copious amounts of anything, it's, not going to go so well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely did have a physical effect. And I think a lot of people were curious about that too, because they'd message and go like, how come we never saw the results of your binge eating if this is what you're saying you went through? And I'm thinking, honey, I was not about to post myself during that time. Like that was the last thing I was thinking. I'm not picking my phone up and taking a photo. I didn't even want to FaceTime my family or friends.
Yeah. And I think for you to even not be working so much, like that speaks how you felt in that time. For you to take pretty much a year off almost from modeling shoots and social media jobs, or just not being so, yep, I'll do it. It's a lot more thought, which then makes you feel anxious, which then would add to the whole cycle of it.
Or even if there was a job coming up, I definitely struggled, like I battled with this mentality of, okay, I have enough time between now and then to get my shit together. But then because I would have such a restrictive sort of mentality on what I had to do to get myself in a place that I felt was good enough before that shoot day, I would end up relapsing even worse than I was before I said yes to the job. And then I'd have to cancel anyway. And then it was just like, it ended up being not even worth it to try and have wishful thinking about getting to that point and being able to say yes to jobs. So I just stopped saying yes.
Yeah. Do you think now that's probably a thing that has changed or that's stuck for you? Because I do find you are more, what's the word, selective. Like you've always been quite selective in what you've wanted to do. But do you think following from that year, you're even more selective now, or just know the value of it or yourself in that job? Does that make sense?
Like the modeling stuff or the Instagram stuff?
I guess both. Like whatever comes through, are you more selective because you've been through that? You're like, oh, that's actually not that important to me. Or do you have that mindset now a bit more? Or do you think you've always been like that before?
I think I've always been
like that.
But I think that I've been selective because I lacked confidence. And I would be selective because some jobs seemed too hard or I felt like I wasn't good enough to do them. So it's nicer to say, oh yeah, you're just being selective. But yeah, I definitely have just put limitations on what I say yes to based on how I feel about myself.
Yeah, okay.
Being in this cycle definitely did not help that.
Yeah.
Something that I think is important to note before we get into the other questions is that when I begun my research into it all, I was so shocked to hear that it's not about the food. Because people think, oh, you've got a binge eating disorder, you're obsessed with food. And it's got nothing to do with the food. It's just kind of your selection of vice, I guess.
So what did people think, that it's just because they loved the taste of a certain thing?
I just thought, I'm just such a food person. Like
I'm such a foodie.
I'm such a foodie. Like live, laugh, love. Give me everything. Yeah. I literally just thought that.
Okay.
It's because I just love the taste of food. But that's not the case at all. And when you're in the thick of it, you understand that it doesn't matter what you eat. You just want to be eating because
you're not even appreciating it or even tasting it, like you've mentioned. It's just the actual habitual thing of doing it.
Yeah. And like part of the recovery was, instead of stopping the binge, I just tried to appreciate the binge. It was definitely a impactful stage of recovery because it was important. That's how you sort of bring that intuition back into it. But I remember, gosh, I'm getting so vulnerable. Fuck.
I know.
Yuck. I remember
it's great.
I would get these donuts. Fuck. I would get these donuts and I knew that they always would add an extra one. Even if you ordered like a 5-pack, they'd always give you 6. So
cinnamon one.
yeah.
Sorry, that's not even in the mic. I'm like,
She's like, I know all about it.
those cinnamon
the
donuts.
Gluten-free ones.
They do. They always add another.
Yeah. So I figured this out.
I'm sorry, but I'm just picturing you being like, I'm going to order 12.
Oh. No, I did get to that point though.
And then they're going to add that lucky
and
number.
Guess what? That extra, that's not my decision. So not my fault. It's not my fault.
Shit.
Yeah. So I would have these donuts and they're the best donuts.
They're good.
And I remember like not being able to stop myself from ordering them, but just really trying to appreciate them when I was eating them. And like each bite I'd be like, this tastes so good, or like I love the texture of these, and sort of like talking myself through it. Yeah, it's so strange the things that you sort of do and go through and think and feel to just get through it. But I felt better afterwards because I thought at least I'm present with my food, and that's an achievement because of how just like it's probably why I had to get masseter Botox because I just fucking chewed everything constantly. Just non-stop chewing.
What, for your jaw?
Yeah.
But it's funny actually you say that because I do notice even when we go out for dinner that you do appreciate the different tastes now.
Yeah.
You know, and you're very conscious, like you're wanting to do it together. Like you'll be like, let's try this one together.
Yeah, to make it an experience because that's what food's about. Food's about bringing people together and having a really nice experience and appreciating different cuisines and the fact that someone else has the talent enough to come up with this concoction that now you get to sit and enjoy. And I think I see food as such a life luxury now that sort of flows through just grasping that balance and having that food freedom. Like I rarely have food guilt anymore because I'm present with the choices that I do make. Yeah, like you said, like when I'm going out to eat something, it's about being there, the conversation, the appreciating someone else's talent to be able to serve it. And I think that that's also come with like removing the value on the taste of that food and trying to look for what the other value is.
So another question from our listeners, there was a couple of these ones. How did your partner help you through those times? Because I think you and Jack maybe had just met or reconnected during that time. How, did your partner help you? And also how were you with him? Like, were you embarrassed to open up about it? How did you do it? There was a few girls asking how they go about it with their partner.
I feel like it made the beginning of our relationship very turbulent. Look, trying to date when you're in a binge eating cycle is almost impossible.
Yeah.
I'm actually quite surprised that I was able to persevere through that because as a result of all the shame and guilt, obviously your self-worth is so low. Like it was the lowest it's ever been. And I'm trying to now entertain
someone.
Yeah, impress someone and entertain someone's company. And I also thought so highly of Jack. But I also was, because I was looking at what I looked like and how I felt, his behaviors in the day, like he was working out every day and he was really making consciously good decisions with his diet and coming over and being all happy, and I'm like the opposite. So it almost made me feel worse, which made me then have sort of a fallout when he would leave after hanging out with me or something, because I just felt like I could breathe after he left because I'm not worried about if he's staring at me for too long and he's noticing all the things that I think of myself. And yeah, it was pretty rough.
No, but I think that That's relatable though. Like it makes sense because take away your binge and what was going on anyway, girls do that as it is. You know, like you go, oh, say you spent a weekend with someone that you've just sort of started dating. They've then left. You're probably like, oh, fuck, thank God. Like I can not be putting it on as much. Like you can kind of relax. So I can imagine you as soon as he would leave, you're like, oh, all that stress of having to put on not an act because you're being yourself, but putting on this facade or keeping something in, you would then just lead to probably another binge.
Yeah. 100%.
Right? Yeah.
And then the next day I'm like, I don't want to reject him, but I don't want to see him. And also I can't be in a good mood. So then I felt like if I was to hang out with him, that was me making him responsible for trying to pull me out of a bad mood.
Did he know from the start what was going on, or how did you tell him?
I don't think I did.
He's heard it on the pod.
Yeah.
He still doesn't know.
He's just found out. But no, I don't think I did tell him because I was so ashamed of it. And I just thought, I don't want someone to feel like they have to try and fix me. I don't know, dating and trying to deal with that, I just wouldn't wish it upon anyone, to be honest. But I think like companionship is kind of inevitable. Like we all need it. So it's not like I was going to just stop seeking it. But yeah, I definitely tried to sabotage it way more than I would if
you were feeling good.
Yeah.
Which is valid though. Again, people do it on a normal day. So it's valid to be pushing someone away because you always have that mindset when you are dating, you want to be your best self to then be a good person to someone else.
I think I definitely, sorry, I cut you off.
That's okay.
I definitely spoke to my therapist about seeing him. And I think I might have shared with him that I was seeing someone about it. But to this day, I still feel that even with the few conversations that we have had, he doesn't quite understand it. And I think that's such a common thing. Like a lot of people just don't understand the extent of it or know enough to think that it's a real thing. And I understand that. Like I give him grace for that because he's not on the receiving end of all these other women messaging me. And every time I post a story, it gets so many views. And it's as simple as me just talking about it, like maybe one paragraph of me mentioning something about it. And it's just an influx of people. And I think that reassures me that it is like a genuine struggle, even though so many people have no idea what it even is or if it's a real thing.
And when he probably says he doesn't understand it, is I guess because he would be thinking when he's doing something like that, or if he's had dinner and then has a snack and then feels like shit when he goes to bed, wakes up, he would be thinking, oh, fuck, shouldn't have done that, and gets real guilty. So he would be probably relating back to his experience and being like, isn't it just like that?
Yeah. Exactly. Like everyone's scale of what food behavior they think is bad is different. For him and I to share a block of chocolate and watch a movie and go to bed, I wake up the next day, I've forgotten about it. Today's a new day. Everything and anything that we did the day before is completely irrelevant. What matters right now is this present moment, the decisions that I'm going to make. But I also don't see sharing a block of chocolate as a bad thing or something to feel guilty about because I've honored that experience. I've actively, intentionally made that choice to have a lovely time with my partner, enjoying something that we both really like. But then for him and for many other people, that would be something to be guilty about because it's like, no, I didn't have to have the chocolate. I didn't have to have this. But because I know that there's been times where it goes so much further without any control, I'm looking at that like a win. And I'm so proud of myself. And I'm so happy that I did that because food is a life luxury. And what's the point of feeling bad about sharing a block of chocolate with your partner when you only live once?
And that's just because you had to be telling yourself that through the worst parts. It is an eating disorder because you're thinking this way. A mind that doesn't have that,
intuitiveness.
Yeah, isn't even thinking about that. And I probably can relate to the mindset of Jack in that moment because I would feel guilty. I wouldn't dwell on it. I'd just be like, oh, fuck, like whatever, and move on. But I'm not thinking how you are with every bite being like, I'm really enjoying this. I'm in control of this moment, blah, blah, blah. Wake up and it's a fresh slate.
That's why I'm like, it's so bittersweet, but I'm so grateful that I went through it.
Yeah.
Like I said in the other episode, like because I went through it, everything's lighter. Like before anything becomes an issue, I'm able to take the steps that I need to realign with what actually matters.
And I think people who, like me, even listening to you, I'm like, that's actually such a good way to make everything an experience. Like I can learn from that too, not going through the depths of it. I can sit there and enjoy a meal and think of it in a way of like, I'm experiencing this with this person. Like that makes me think of it differently as well, which I think is special because some people don't, they're not present.
If I don't feel like that, I'm not going to eat it. Like if I need to really be excited and feel like the meal I'm about to have, because then I know I'm not going to be left with any lack of satisfaction or cravings, you know? So I really think it's about the time now, it's about lunchtime. What do I feel like? Then I think about it. Is this meal going to mentally stimulate me and satisfy me? And is it also going to nourish me in a way that is going to leave me with enough energy and fullness to have zero food noise moving beyond that and getting on with the afternoon, you know? Like but all of these things, it seems like it's a lot to think about and remember to think about, but it's the same as learning to drive a manual car. Like all of a sudden you're not thinking about anything, you're just doing it. It's the accumulation of things that you learn. It's like, it's just trusting that delayed gratification because everything does kind of just come back around. But Jack will be like, I don't care what we eat, you pick. And I'm like, perfect, because I need to pick what I'm going to eat. Yeah. If I'm eating a meal, because I'm so effortlessly present with it now, if I have a bite of something and I'm like, that's not hitting, it's not exciting me, I will just stop eating it. Like, nah, don't want any more of that. And like other people are like, but why wouldn't we just finish the packet? Because it's not serving me anymore. I'm not mentally stimulated by this snack because it's actually not, I'm not excited about it. I don't feel like that. But that's just the mindset of a recovered woman. Sorry, guys. We're kind of, being a bit humorous in today's episode.
We're trying to make light. You have to. Also, a lot of questions that we had coming in was just, the biggest tips for getting out of the binge cycle. You explained a little bit, but to just sort of brush up on the main things.
If someone was to ask me for a checklist of all the things that I did, I think the intention setting thing is very powerful. When we finish recording the podcast today, I'm going to get in my car, drive home. When I get home, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I don't have to do that ever anymore. That's the goal. But just being a little bit more patient with your day, not being in such a rush to do things and get to the next thing. And especially before meals, when I finish this meal, I'm going to go stand outside. And then if you're into the sort of holistic approach or the meditation sort of side of the grounding techniques and all of that, that's where if you don't have something to do, that you can do that. And that kind of brings you back to the present moment as well. 2 things I can see or 3 things I can smell and sort of those little things. So setting intentions before engaging in an act of eating, avoiding trigger spots. So knowing that 9 times out of 10, I usually will binge on the couch. It's not necessarily restricting yourself from being there. It's more separating the habits. So picking somewhere else to eat your meal. And then if you've set that intention, it will flow through. And it's kind of nice to have different areas of your place of living to enjoy different experiences. Like I don't have a TV in the bedroom because I just think that's not where I want to be doing that.
Yeah.
There's so many different techniques. And I think that, it's definitely not straightforward or the same for everyone. Just like recovery isn't linear. You can't just expect to apply one thing and then the next week you move on to the next. Sometimes one strategy might take you a few weeks to sort of nail it and for it to become something that you effortlessly do. It's really quite complex. I'm sure there's other things that I could think of. There's a full nutritionist side of it as well. So that's also something that you guys can lean into if you're struggling, is to speak to someone, like speak to a nutritionist, because there are benefits to including certain macros in each meal to alleviate cravings and keep you feeling fuller and give you more energy and help with digestion. And so eating the right foods will help you. But again, it's definitely still in your mind. If you sit down and your macros are perfect for this meal, but it's not mentally exciting you or stimulating you, you're still going to have a void. Yeah, I feel overwhelmed hearing myself talk like that. But like I said, it's like driving a manual car. Once you get it, you don't think about it.
Like in nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously chatting with the therapist if you can.
Yep.
Which we will put her details again in the description. We have it in the last episode too. But that's what you did, told your friends and family, your core group that you could trust. I guess that was your biggest turning point, is when you admitted it to everyone else. Then it was reality for you, and then you could really start putting in those steps. But I like when you keep touching on that it's not like people can't expect an easy, quick fix. It's just not that. Like anything, it's a longevity thing, and only, I guess, you can do the work. No one else can, which is like anything, unfortunately.
I did do a full mood board as well.
I remember seeing that. Yeah. You had it in your room.
Yeah.
A vision board.
Yeah. If I was to roll over on like the left side of my bed, it was like along the wall.
Yeah.
So sometimes in the mornings when it felt like scary to get up and start a new day,
you would roll to the right. No. Just stare at the wall.
No, but I liked having that there because I could roll over and just slow down and look at all these things that were going to be the result of that delayed gratification. You definitely get so deep with yourself going on this adventure of recovery. It's so cool. It's just so cool and so worth it. And anytime I face something hard in these years of my life, I think, hell yeah, this is just going to level me up when it's my time to become a mum, because they're just tools and skills that maybe I wouldn't have the time to learn if I had rushed to get to that stage. That makes sense?
And I guess I was like listening as well and thinking about your dad's message that he sent you, and just how he brought up so much to do with social media, and just how, and again, I know this is such a topic that everyone always speaks about, but being as someone who has been in that world for so long, just those added pressures of being everything now, and how younger girls would be feeling and thinking they have to always be so perfect and always looking so fit and be the girls that are doing Pilates and all this stuff. And coming from two girls who do actually enjoy doing that, it's you kind of feel like what you're putting out there is just adding to that head noise for these young girls. But then you're trying to just do what's genuinely, you know what I mean? Like you're putting out what is affecting them in a way, because I will post something, I'm at Pilates, but really it's because it makes me feel good. It's not because I'm trying to perceive that I'm this fucking perfect person.
No.
So it's like, what is that balance? Because looking back then, it's like your job is that. People think you look an amazing way, but then you're really dealing with this. And then I don't know what I'm really trying to say.
It's incredibly conflicting to feel like you're responsible for how your audience consumes your content. I've had to go through a phase of removing that responsibility and sort of, realigning with what's authentic to me. And there's only so much you can elaborate on social media. And that's why the pod is so meaningful to both of us, because there's just going to be this whole sort of inventory of content that we're putting out that I guess allows us to elaborate on what's important and give the backstory into the still images that we choose to share, or the parts of our routine that we are proud of. But it is tricky. I don't think that you can't avoid posting that you're at Pilates in the hopes that a few girls might feel better about themselves, because at the end of the day, your mental health is your prerogative.
Mm-hmm.
That's on you. That's your responsibility.
Mm.
Yes, other people can influence you and support you and, help you gain new perspectives. But at the end of the day, it's up to you, and you can't blame anyone else for your lack of knowledge or your lack of willpower to want to have a good life, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. When the thick of it as well, how did you approach even jumping on social media? Because people would think that would be a trigger when you jump on, open your Instagram, see girls, whatever, looking great, working the things you weren't feeling like you were doing. So how did you approach that? Was that a trigger for you? Did you go on the apps a lot during that time?
I literally put all my social media apps to like the back end page of my swipes, and I put it on sleep mode. And for me, that was a way to control something in a period where I felt like I had no control, because I would wake up and think, how do I avoid these triggers that are making me feel anxious and this and that? And I thought, all right, see you later.
Mm-hmm.
And removing the value of social media helped, but also it's tricky when that's your job. Like you can't completely step back from it.
Yeah, so would that be something you would recommend? Like, I guess if there are
if you can afford to, fuck it right off.
Yeah.
Get rid of it. I definitely tested the limits of how much I could separate myself from social media and the real world, because by doing that, I was compromising my financial security. But I also thought, I think I need to take a step back to go forward. I think I need to actually see my bank account get so low and have the fear of like losing my house, because I think that's the best thing for me. I'd rather face that fear than be constantly triggered by social media and push myself to show up in a way that's not authentic to where I'm at in life right now. But then again, I did still take a hold of it in a way that I thought would be beneficial for others, because I thought, if I can't share what I wish I could share, what can I share that still has value? And that's why throughout that period, I think I did post a few little things. And
to do with what you were going through,
Yeah, and I might...
Yeah, you'd post some little journal entries and stuff like that.
I just remember that.
We need to find... Do you remember that one I think you posted on your feed, and it was like a...
Yeah, that was after I sent the message to everyone. So that was... Yeah, I thought I can't step away from social media completely, because I do love it. I love my job when I have the capacity to love it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just had to sort of think outside the box of, how can I redirect this creativity? How can I redirect this platform and this voice that I have to align with what I'm doing and how I'm feeling now, but also have a boundary of how vulnerable I want to get, because I didn't have the strength to cop anyone's opinions. Very interesting territory to sort of cover and move through social media and a struggle like that.
Were you comparing yourself a lot to other people during that time, or was it mainly just you? Like
mainly just me.
Just comparing yourself to yourself.
Yeah.
Like from what you were,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just thought,
because I never get that vibe that you're pretty good with switching off from.
Yeah, there was definitely moments where I would see someone post a photo, and it's interesting because I didn't look at them and think, oh, they look so hot. I just thought they have freedom. That's what I thought. Like, wow, I wonder what it feels like to have, like, what does their day look like to have freedom? Because that's how like trapped I felt in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing that just popped up actually. I would just think, oh, they're probably going to go home.
Wow.
They're probably hungry for dinner. I didn't know what it felt like to be hungry because I didn't allow myself enough time to get to that point. And the food was like to fill a void of boredom or anxiety or shame or guilt or this or that. And I missed the feeling of being hungry or genuinely excited to have a meal. Yeah. That's another thing too. If I ever don't feel like my favorite nutritious meal, like for example, I love steak. If I don't feel like steak or veggies, then I know I'm searching for something to make me excited because I'm bored or if that makes sense.
Someone just said I've been struggling for 19 years.
There are so many stories like
and
that.
She's only 32.
Think about the like roll-on effect of not having the support around you or the strength to want to overcome something. This is why people, like in summary, end up on the street. Like it could start as simple as binge eating and you don't have enough money to fund this like habit, but you can't break free from it. So you keep buying the food, you're losing more money, you have to move out of your house, then it keeps going and then you end up on the street. How it can just be a roll-on effect. And that's also another sort of epiphany that I've had. I just see the world so much more different having faced something that I never thought that I would face, because I am healthy and smart and I have amazing support system and family and friends, and I have a job that I love that, you know, is constantly providing me work, and I still fell into something that you could almost see as weakness. So it just makes me like see the world differently and I guess empathize a little bit more. But it's true. Like there's just so much like naivety and like ignorance that we move through life with. And until you experience something, you don't know, you know? You don't know, now you know. Someone said, I have a friend who definitely appears to have a binge eating problem. Is there anything I should do?
What did you need, or what did you expect, or what would have helped you if there was anything as a friend? What would have helped you in that moment? Was there anything I could have done as a friend better? Was it just checking in, or do you literally just need to go through that yourself and know that your friends are just there?
I think because I lacked so much self-worth, self-confidence, self-esteem, that words of affirmation from people who I trusted meant a lot, because I knew that they were coming from a place where they believed it as well. So when I wasn't loving myself or respecting myself, for my friends to just go, I don't know, say something that aligned with the character that they know I have and that I deep down knew I had and was. Yeah, like small words of affirmation about your friend's like character and the things that you appreciate about them. But otherwise, there's not really that much you can do. I mean, if ever your friend feels comfortable enough to confide in you, I think the responses of thank you for sharing, I hear you, I'm here for you with whatever you might need. If you think of things that might help you, please let me know. You could even like think outside the box and suggest regular phone calls. Like phone calls are easy because you don't have to show up.
Yeah.
Can I call you at 6 p.m. every Tuesday night? Most of the time I wanted to binge. Like before I was about to, I wanted to. And I would know when I was about to because I would tell myself that I was going to.
Really?
Yeah. So sometimes if I'm like about to get into that evening of binging, but then a friend would call, all of a sudden it's been an hour and a half since I thought I was going to start binging and I've been distracted. I would still binge afterwards.
I was
but
going
like,
to say, would you still do it?
Yeah. Because as soon as that distraction
is gone, you need another.
Yeah.
I just remember you telling me though, like that you obviously had told your family or something, because then you would tell me that your sister would check in at the end of the day and be like, how did you go? Or send photo. Would you guys send photos or something?
Oh yeah, we did that little photo dome.
Yeah. Yeah. So I knew about that.
Yeah.
So.
No, but that was a part of my recovery where I was still fixating on the food and like seeing a full day of healthy food as the accomplishment. After each meal, I would add it to a shared album where my sister could see.
Yeah.
And I just said to her, at the end of the day, if there's all these beautiful, healthy colors in this album, that's going to be aesthetically pleasing to me. And also I'll be proud of what I'm sharing with you, because if the people around me knew what I was eating, I'd feel so embarrassed.
Yeah.
So I thought, she's going to know if there's no photo of dinner. So I had to, you know what I mean? But then I also was trying to eat perfectly healthy.
just for that as well. Like you're probably then doing it as a facade that's not what you really wanted to do. It's not sustainable.
No.
Looking back at what I did, I guess it was more so, yeah, you just have to, again, ride the wave. Like obviously, because we went from going out a lot together, because we were going out a lot, drinking, having dinners, whatever it was, and then it wasn't that. And I guess it's not then forcing your friend or making her feel bad for not wanting to come. I would still be like, hey, I'm doing this if you want to come. And then if you were like, oh, no, I'd be like, okay, all good. Like, I'll come see you. Like, I guess just not making them feel pressured or
you never do this with me anymore.
Yeah. Just let them ride that wave. And obviously, like you said, still being there for them and checking in or, sending a nice message at the end of the night of spending time together. Or if you notice they are opening up about more things without you really having to ask, that means they're feeling more confident and comfortable. So I would just be like, oh, like I really appreciate you sharing that, or thank you so much for even talking about that or sharing it, and that makes them feel safe. It's like anything, right? And even if your friend's in a bad relationship, the more you press on it, the less they're going to talk to you about it. So it's just being there for them and little check-ins, little reminders, thinking of you. Hope you know how amazing you are. Like just little stuff like that.
Yeah. I think, that's kind of all you can really do.
Yeah.
I was even thinking if you are aware that your friend has started some sort of therapy, something that's fun when you're learning things is to feel like someone else is interested. So you could say, is there anything that you've learned recently that you could share with me? Like anything that I could learn or use? Because when you do figure out these perspectives or tools or you understand like that wave thing, I would have loved to just be like, oh my God, I learned about this wave analogy. Get this, right? Like anything to help you communicate something that you're going through is exciting to share. So if you know that your friend has started, I don't know, researching in some way or seeing a therapist or something, you can always say, would love to hear anything like cool that you've learned. Because it's kind of like then it puts it away from them and more
and
let me tell you something.
Yeah, and they feel like they're teaching you something.
Once there was a really bad snowstorm where I live. We get a lot of snow here, but this was the worst storm in years. There were power outages, major roads closed, etc. I was walking home from school after we'd been dismissed early due to the weather, and all of a sudden I get this crazy urge to binge. So I go to the supermarket and buy a ton of food, including a whole cake. It's snowing like mad at this point. You can barely see a few feet ahead of you. As I exited the supermarket, I realized I had nowhere to eat this food or any way to sneak it inside the house. So what did I do? I went to this playground nearby and sat on this platform that leads to a slide and ate this entire velvet cake with my bare hands. I'd forgotten to get a fork at the supermarket. It was -20 or so, cold enough to get frostbite for sure. I'm just glad I didn't, but I remember my hands getting so numb from the cold. It's not the most outrageous story ever, but I just find it pathetic yet hilarious looking back. I was 17 years old, sitting on this little kid's playground, eating a whole cake with my bare hands during a blizzard. I was freezing cold and no one who didn't have to be outside was outside, but my dumbass had to binge. Even during a blizzard, the urge to just do that and the shame of not wanting anyone to see makes you do that. The value of eating that cake was stronger for that person than being comfortable and safe inside. There's a lot of stories out there like that, and just crazy to me that there's just so much like you wanting to hide what you consume because you think it's bad. It's funny because when you're happy with the decisions you're making, you don't care who catches you. Anyway, guys.
Let's do a couple wrap up.
Oh, okay.
I've got 2 wrap up questions.
Got some wrap-ups.
Looking back, what do you feel most proud of in how far you've come?
Well, I just feel like I'm in touch with myself beyond what I could have ever imagined and in touch with what life is really about. And I don't think I would have got here without the journey of binge eating and seeking recovery. Yeah, and the self-acceptance too is massive. I just feel I love myself for reasons and ways that I never felt like I did before. Yeah. Okay, next one.
And I guess, what do you feel the most excited for moving forward? Sharing everything, what is like the next step for you, or what do you feel excited about?
In regards to sharing in the way that we've both begun to on the podcast, I'm so excited for that connection and creating a place that make other people feel like they can overcome things as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I'm most excited being on the other side of binge eating because the whole trajectory of my life is completely different now. I'm not scared about eating on my wedding day like I might have been.
Yeah.
I'm not scared about having lunch on a shoot. I'm not scared about using the wrong language around my future kids. Food freedom literally is that. It's just freedom. More capacity for the things that mean more. I'm just excited for life.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Simply put, I can bring it on. Oh, live and let die. All right.
Well, on that note, we'll love you and leave you. See you guys next week.